Oh, you're wearing the FSO shirt, man. The throwback.
No, what is this? It was the wrong song. We gotta try this again.
You meant to play Chief Keef, dude. I know.
No, I meant to play the song we were talking about earlier. Okay.
That was a good song anyway. You should have left that on.
It is a good song. It's not bad. This song is better, though.
Oh, this is a great song.
Good old Modest Mouse.
I was telling our buddy James on Twitter that this is the song that I used to rock out to on in college. I would set my big white iPod that people would get, not color, but I would set it to it and then put it in my backpack and walk to class, and it was like I was in a movie or something. I mean, that's how cool it was. Anyways,
the whole album is great.
Welcome to the Daily Fantasy NBA Show, sponsored by DraftDay. I'm your host, Soccer Dave. And this is the special edition of the Triple D Show. I'm David. This is Dave. And this is Davis. Together, we are... Guys, say it. Triple D.
I'm not saying that.
Okay, well, we'll work on that.
But
as far as today goes, it is like the same big nights apply. However, it is going to be like only 7 games. So it's going to be a lot of overlap. However, there's no Sixers game tonight. So that's
and all the games are playable too.
we do have the Lakers.
Yes. Playing against the cousinsless Kings. And I saw earlier today where, like, someone, I think Scott had reported, like, the Sacramento Bee, they had projected Carl Landry as the starter, or maybe it was Drew. I'm not sure which one.
It was Scott.
But then there was a beat writer that updated it at Derek Williams at the 4, which makes a lot more sense with Wesley Johnson at the 4 for the Lakers. So we'll go ahead and just start with this game because I think out of the 7 games, this is the one that people are going to be targeting the most. No Chris Kaman. Sad face Davis. No Pau Gasol. No Swaggy P.
Better be Pau Gasol.
You know what really sucks, dude, about this whole Swaggy P saga right now is that Bazemore is playing like super good, and D'Antoni seems to love him for like whatever reason, and so that means Swaggy P is gonna be playing like 18 minutes off the bench when he gets back, and it's gonna suck.
All it takes is one game, man. Let Bazemore go 0 for 5 in the first quarter with 3 turnovers. He won't see another minute until April.
It's just like Swags needs to go out there and score the basketball, dude. That's what he was born to do. He was born to throw the ball at the rim.
He was born that way?
He was born that way.
Ain't no other way. Baby. Sorry. As far as this game goes, though, Dave, give me your instant analysis for how you kind of see this playing out and which guys might you want to roll out tonight.
I love it. I think, for starters, Pau Gasol is highly underrated in this game. I see a lot of people talking about Noah, who I also like, but Gasol's a great play, and he's cheaper than Noah on nearly every site I've seen.
It's all Pau tonight.
Oh yeah, Pow, my friend.
Pow.
And you got Derek Williams, who should get the spot start for Cousins. He's okay. I mean, I have trouble liking him as much as other people do because he is just entirely too inconsistent, even when he gets the minutes. I like Isaiah Thomas a lot. I think he should have a great game. He's playing more than 37 minutes a game as a starter, averaging 23 points and 6 assists. So that should be more than enough against this terrible Lakers squad. And Bazemore, obviously, I think he's a great value. But I think the play of the night in this game is Rudy Gay. In my Insiders column, I noted that this guy, when DeMarcus Cousins is out, his numbers are phenomenal. I believe he's averaging 28.5 points, 8 or 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2.5 steals. So His numbers are way up when Cousins is out. He's shooting more, and I think he'll shoulder a lot of the load tonight and be an excellent play against the Lakers.
Agree. And Davis, you raised your fist, like you really agreed with that.
I mean, I'm always like, I play Rudy Gay more than like the average DFS player does anyways. Like especially on FanDuel, I use him a lot of the times. Like give me the choice between Rudy Gay and Paul George. Most nights I end up taking Rudy Gay. So like tonight when the matchup is so perfect, like I'll probably even play him on Draft Street where he's 17K.
You naughty boy, you. Even where he's 17K on an efficiency site.
I probably won't do it. I probably won't do it for cash, but I imagine that he'll be like, because I play like 3 tournament lineups tonight, and I imagine he'll be in 2 out of the 3.
So you think that he's going to be money?
Well, doesn't it? Well, yeah, awful. Doesn't it make sense that he would probably play some 4 tonight too if Wesley Johnson really plays that position? Like, I know Mike Malone and the Kings are. It is the Kings, but like, wouldn't it make sense to run some sets out where it's like Jason Thompson, Rudy Gay, Macklemore, Isaiah? Like, I guess I don't even know who would play shooting guard in that scenario, so maybe not, because they don't have Thornton anymore to throw in there.
Yeah. I mean, they could run it out there, but like if they went small without, I guess Landry would be the guy. But he still would be like the 4. So no, I don't know how much run Rudy Gay was going to get at the 4. But the bottom line is that he is like the money play from this game. So is Isaiah Thomas. I mean, Isaiah Thomas has a really good matchup tonight. From the Lakers side, Dave, Pau Gasol. We're all in the Pau, especially without Chris Kaman. And his salary is still fairly low compared to where it was before he got hurt. So I agree as far as that being a potential play that you want to spend on. There are not like a ton of big man options that you can spend on tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of gross actually at power forward.
Yeah. So Dink says the excess is on the bigs though, so I doubt Rudy plays much for.
Yeah, that was like everyone listening to the show. That's totally not going to happen. That was just an assumption that was wrong.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Oh man, I'm loving it. Oh gosh. Let's talk about some of the news and notes. Davis, has anything happened in the last 30 minutes that I might not be aware of?
I mean, I just got back from Starbucks, so if it has, I
you
probably
look at
would
you
know about it.
Starbucksing it up.
You're such a hippie.
God love you with the Starbucks.
I'm a sorority girl.
Oh man, that's pretty awesome though. What did you get from Starbucks before we move on to daily fantasy stuff?
Bro, that iced caramel macchiato with skim milk and 2 extra shots.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, I'm a sorority girl. Like, I'm not even ashamed of it.
Comes with a skirt and a tampon, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm about it, though.
I'm just messing with you, man. It's probably delicious.
I've got like this cold that's still lingering. I mean, it's been here since Monday, but when I start laughing, I immediately like go into this like coughing attack. Our buddy Dan Bach posted on Twitter earlier about being like the only dad in the playground with a bunch of moms, and the topic of contraception came up, and for some reason it just struck me in the wrong way, and like I could not recover. I was coughing so much. As far as the news,
real quick, I do want to say I think Derek Williams actually is, because I just read that he is going to start. I think Derek Williams is actually a really good play in this game.
I don't doubt that he is. I mean, I think in this game, I mean, this would be like the one type of game that you would want to start him in with no Cousins going up against the Lakers. I don't think that he is like that bad of a play. Probably more of a tournament play than a cash game play. But no, I don't think he's bad. This Cleveland game, though, Waiters, Miles, and Varejao still out. You have Kyrie Irving, who absolutely went off on Wednesday. on the road.
I hate him.
I know.
Yep.
He's at home tonight.
I played Topius instead of him, and that was a 30-point swing on Draft Street, which cost me all the monies.
That dude burns me every time I play him, and then the next day he goes off. Same thing with Damian Lillard. I can't take it anymore.
If Chris Kaman is probable, I apologize. I thought that.
No, I just read that he's out.
Okay.
Just read on Roto World that he's out.
Okay. Well, maybe someone can put a source in there in the chat. Let's go back to this Kyrie Irving thing because
I'm seeing probable too. Sorry.
Is he going to be someone that you want to play tonight, Davis?
Yes. Basically, what I see though is there's a couple ways you can go point guard tonight. On sites that require you to play like FanDuel. I think you can play. I think these are the guys who are in play: Kyrie, Isaiah Thomas, and then Russell Westbrook against Memphis. But that price is so good, and he went over his minutes limit in the last game. And then I mean, if Goran Dragic is out, then I'm playing Ish Smith everywhere. Ish. I love that Ish.
You can't not play Sir Ish if Dragic is out. I mean, he had a fantastic game by his standards the other day, and it wasn't just that he's putting up a couple points. He contributed everywhere. He's definitely a solid play. You also, Dave, have I know he's been struggling lately, but I just have a feeling Steph Curry is going to go off tonight. So
yeah, and that's what I wanted to say too. Is that
oh, well, go ahead and say it then, man.
well, he completely destroyed the Knicks both games last year. Just destroyed them.
54 points, career high, killed him, and he hit 11 for 13 threes in that game. So,
he was nuts, and that's obviously.
Let me throw one more real quick, Dave. It's a wild GPP play, but while we're on the topic, I know he's been trashed most of the year, but Ben McLemore, okay? He's had 15 or more points in both games versus the Lakers. Thornton and Fredette are out of town. He could be worth a look on minimum salary, $3,600 in tournament play on FanDuel.
All right, so I think we've touched on probably the two big topics of the night in the past just minute. Number one is the whole Ish Smith Dragic thing. We need to be looking for some sort of inside source on if
freaking inside sources
if Ish is going to be playing tonight. If he is, we talked about Curry. I mean, obviously, primetime ESPN has been really hyping this game up because of what Curry did in the Garden last year. You've got Curry and Thomas. On most sites, you can't play 3-point guards. So you've got to choose really between Curry and Thomas if you are rolling Ish out there. At the shooting guard spot, there is a lot of value in McLemore, and it pains me to say, but Kent Bazemore.
Oh, Bazemore. I think you got to play Bazemore. There's not even any risk with him, I don't really think.
Yeah, there's always risk with D'Antoni, but I agree that he's definitely a good, solid play for the price. But D'Antoni's always a little bit scary.
So you have those two shooting guards that are really cheap, but you also have Gordon Hayward coming off a near triple-double, whose price is still low. The guard situation, normally it's
Gerald Green, man.
Yeah, screw Gerald Green for what he did to me on Wednesday. I thought I was so clever for starting Gerald Green.
No, he did well, didn't he? I played him.
He had 23 fantasy points, didn't do anything in the second half, did all his damage in the first 7 minutes. But as far as the shooting guard and the point guard situation, normally it's all about the bigs. That's kind of where you want to start with the DFS landscape of things, positional value. Tonight feels like you have to decide first what you're going to do with your guards. And that's kind of where it has started for me. Agree or disagree, Dave, with kind of what else is out there at the other positions?
I'm sorry, I was reading the chat.
Dang it!
Real quick, man. Just run me down real quick. Come on. You got it.
Saying that the shooting guard and point guard situation is where I'm starting with tonight instead of the big men, because you've got the point guard situation with Ish and then who you're going to choose instead of Isaiah Thomas or Dragic, and then the shooting guard situation with McLemore and Bazemore, all the Moors, and even Gordon Hayward. What are you wanting to do with this guard situation tonight, knowing the forward and center debacle that you have.
Yeah, there's definitely like the value. The value is definitely at that position tonight. But in terms of power forward and center, there isn't much value at all. There's possibly a Jinka. Is that how you pronounce it? A Jinka?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he is sexy tonight. Don't let anybody else tell you different.
No.
Davis?
Dude, because they give Luke Babbitt minutes.
Yeah, but if Anthony Davis... Look, he's played 27 or more minutes in each of his last 3 games. So this trend had begun before Davis even went down. So regardless of whether Davis affects his minutes or not, you're looking at probably 30 minutes if Unibrow is out tonight. So, but I mean, 29, 27 minutes over his last 3 is enough to make me think that he could be worth a shot on sites where he's cheap enough. Like, he's too expensive on DraftDay and several other sites.
That is what Ajinka is going to be doing all over the place tonight, Davis.
No, can we not get another argument about centers? Can we not? Like, I'm going to play Joakim Noah.
Starbucks has made you like
no, it's
all
just like literally every time you and I do a show together, when it's you and I, it's always like, I'm like, yo, Joakim Noah, or yo, Boogie Cousins, and then you're like, no, this guy who's like 4,300 on FanDuel is going to blow up, and then they just always blow up, and I'm just wrong every time. So I just don't want to take a stance on this.
So play Ajinka is the consensus here then?
Yeah, Davis is going to get on board. But again...
No, I absolutely am not. I will not be playing Alexis Ajinka anywhere.
You're on board, baby. You're on board.
No, Powell is 16K on Draft Street. Joakim Noah's 8.5 on DraftKings, 9.3 on FanDuel. There's no reason. There's value elsewhere. I have a lineup that I love right now on FanDuel.
I'm not suggesting that you play Ajinka over Pau Gasol. Shit. I'm not. Yeah, you know what? Noah and Gasol are pretty enticing options, but that Ajinka, man, he's too hot. Let's fade them and throw him in. If I could play 2 Ajinkas, that's what I'd do.
Oh, God.
Man, I'm saying I plan on pairing them up together. But I hear you. He's a huge risk. He's a huge risk, and I don't blame you for not wanting to play him.
Dave, we need a chant for tonight, and I'm thinking this: Ajinka. Ajinka.
No, please stop.
Ajinka.
Oh, God.
Like Jenga? Carmelo, yes or no tonight, where all the... I mean, I think that he almost... You talk about, like, positional value. Like, there's so much value elsewhere. I think Dan said in the chat that Goran Dragic is playing, so that might...
No, he didn't say that. He said that he wants to play, and he just had a new son, and he wants to play because of that.
But he said he was really sore this morning, and he didn't go through shoot-around, right? Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
I'm searching Twitter right now, and all I'm seeing is a bunch of people who are like, oh my God, Goran Dragic is underrated. Twitter searching sucks.
It can be fun sometimes, especially when during a game when someone is not doing good, especially if young Kaiser is in that Twitter search.
So this is what I have. Leviton, who works for Roto World, no shoot around for Goran. Sounds like Ish Smith again, featuring a quote tweet from a Suns beat writer saying that Dragic's right ankle is really sore and that he'll be a game time decision.
Right, that's what I saw too.
Oh boy, so it sounds like we don't have anything. MG in the chat says that he agrees with you, Davis. There is value elsewhere, and I think so too. I just really like Ajinka as a sexy pick tonight.
I just really like to play Joakim Noah every night.
You can play both, is what I'm saying, though.
Not on DraftKings you can, yeah. I haven't looked at anywhere else other than FanDuel yet today.
Well, you could on Draft Street. Oh, yeah, FanDuel, my fault. Okay, yeah, FanDuel you can. No, on FanDuel there's no question. I'm in 100% agreement with you that on FanDuel there's really no point of fading Noah. But Pau Gasol is listed at power forward on FanDuel, so I definitely do still think it's a possibility. But on every other site, you have that multi-position eligibility and the utility spot. I got him in the utility spot on DraftKings, and if Goran Dragic is out, if I find out in time, I'm just going to throw him in there and swap him out.
As far Dan mentioned that you can on our sponsor DraftDay. As far as 3 guys, you also a draft day, you could always put Melo at the small forward position, which is nice. As far as if you're spending on Melo or Durant, who is that going to be, Davis? Knowing the positional value.
Carmelo, man.
Don't say it like that. You're a Thunder fan, too.
No, Kevin Durant is my favorite basketball player in the history of the sport, but Memphis gives him fits every time, and they play at that gross pace.
Al says no Perkins, a different OKC, and he mentioned Gasol as a play, and that's something.
Perkins plays 16 minutes a game. That's wrong. That's wrong, Smiz. He plays 16 minutes a game.
I thought he played 20.
No.
We'll have to look that up. The bottom line is that when he's not, I mean, regardless of how many minutes he plays, when he is in there, he is more he makes
the worst basketball player in the league.
No one knows he's there, is what we're saying.
Who exists to make my life hell?
20. He's playing 20 minutes a game, my man.
Well, he is still terrible on the pick and roll. Like
everyone is just trolling me in the chat right now. Like Kendrick Perkins has enough mobility to hang with Spencer Hawes on the perimeter. No. Kendrick Perkins is awful. Please don't act like Oklahoma City's strong defense is a result of Kendrick Perkins. He is a net negative on every single level on a basketball court.
There we go. That's the Davis I like. The Bulldog. Come on.
The one good thing he can do. This is the one good thing he can do. Guys who are bigger than him, he can isolate on them defensively okay. Like one-on-one situations. Put him in the pick and roll. Put him at the elbow when a guy like Gasol is making plays. He is lost. The only thing that he can do is not move when like LaMarcus Aldridge or Dwight Howard is trying to back him down. But Gasol doesn't get his points back to the basket anyways. And he's a subpar rebounder. He is a below league average rebound rate, too.
Perkins?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like a couple of weeks ago, him and I forget who else, one other center were the only only starting centers in the game not to have double-digit rebounds in at least one game.
He sucks. He is so bad. If you guys want to say that Oklahoma City is a different team right now because they're adjusting to having Perkins in the line, or Russ back in the lineup, or because playing Steven Adams starting center minutes is making it different, then fine. But don't say anything about Kendrick Perkins' impact because they're a better team by like 15 points net differential when he's on the bench.
Oh man, this is good stuff. Davis, passive Davis is no good on this show. I love it when you get fired up. I love it.
He's the worst. He's the worst player in the league. 450 players, he is the 450th. He sucks.
He is bad. He is terrible. But you have this thing on basketball Twitter, as Davis says, where people are in the debate as far as soon as Russell got back, the Thunder are getting torched. And then people say, well, it's because Perkins, Russ's first game back, got hurt like a few minutes into the game. So
no, this is what happened. One, they were just going to inevitably, their net differential was not the net differential of a team who was going to win 80% of their games. And they won almost 80% of their games when Russ was sitting. And two, the switch of putting Russ back in the lineup and taking Reggie out was a difference because the offense necessarily has to be different because Reggie Jackson and Westbrook have different roles. And the minutes are messed up because Russ can only play 28 minutes a game right now, so their rotations are all messed up.
Let me interject. Do you think Kendrick Perkins is worse than Marcus Teague? I know Perkins is bad, but even the shots that Teague makes are the ugliest shots in the world.
They're awful in different ways because Perk is bad at what he's supposed to be good at, like what people think he's good at, but Teague doesn't even have any discernible skills at all.
Oh, he's just awful. But, all right, well, I think we've come to a conclusion there. They're both terrible.
Oh, Dink is trolling.
Davis, you get so sensitive, man.
Dude, this is my team, man. This is the only team I've ever rooted for in my whole life who's been good.
Gasol did have a good playoff series against them. And coming off of a good game against the Lakers, however, they put Perkins on. I mean, they put Perkins. Do not say that in front of Davis. They put Powell on Zebo, and they left Wesley on Gasol, and that was announced like 15 minutes before the game time.
Yeah, and everyone trolled me about playing Gasol over Vucevic, and then Gasol outscored Vuce.
I played both. They both had good games.
Yeah, I played everybody that was good that night, so beat that. As far as Zebo or Gasol, I mean, you know this into your defense, Davis. Just yes or no. Forget about Perkins, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Forget about Perkins, the player, the restaurant, whatever. I want you to just give me yay or nay on Gasol or Zebo tonight.
No.
Dave.
I'm not interested.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there are a lot better options.
But if I had to, I would go with Gasol over Zebo just because he's a lot more versatile and he has ability to rack up peripherals. So a player like that's it's essential to have a player like that in the game where the matchup isn't, especially conducive to his fantasy value. So I prefer someone like that over someone like Zebo who's just going to give you points and rebounds.
Our buddy Drew in the chat is talking about basically Russ thinking he's better than Durant, which I kind of
here's the deal.
Agree with. I think no. We don't. No. Let's not go off on this tandem.
Let's not. Let's talk about something else because this is terrible.
Because I think that Drew is more upset about him liking Reggie Jackson.
God,
he liked Reggie Jackson on Wednesday as kind of a sexy play against Cleveland and 13 fantasy points in 24 minutes. So I normally don't get to say this to Drew, but I told you so, buddy. Wow, sassy Dave coming out at you.
Oh my God.
Stop it.
What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
Russell Westbrook scored 42 points in the NBA Finals. That's all I'm going to say. Let's move on, please.
Combined points? Nice.
In one game, he's... Oh, my God.
Davis, who cares, man?
All right.
We're here to help the people.
Yeah, we are here to help the people. Charlotte, a well-rested Charlotte team, going up against the Parkerless Spurs tonight. You've got the Spurs as an 8.5-point favorite. Anybody in play for here? Your buddy Al Jeff, or not your buddy, Scott's buddy Al Jeff versus Drew's buddy Timmy Duncan. As far as anybody from this game, are you targeting, Dave?
No, I've seen a lot of people on Jefferson tonight, and I personally don't think it's the best idea. In the last game he played against San Antonio, he had actually a really efficient game. I think he had 50-plus fantasy points. But Thiago Splitter was not in that game. The game was in Charlotte. Not that that matters too much. But more importantly, Popovich is just one of the best coaches. He's the best coach in basketball. He's like the Bill Belichick of the NBA. This guy, you burn him once, I really have trouble believing he's going to let you burn him again, especially with Splitter back. I think he's going to make the rest of that team burn him tonight and not give Jefferson the chance. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe Jefferson will power through that front court and actually produce a decent game, but at the same time, I don't think he will, and I think that he struggled mightily against Memphis the other night too. So, it'll be interesting. But I think we've talked about Noah, we've talked about Gasol. There's better options out there that aren't nearly as risky. This could end up being a blowout as well. So there's too many red flags there.
I have a question for you guys. Why did Tim Duncan only play 29 minutes 2 nights ago? Because he was all set up to have a really good night, and then he didn't play. Was it just blowout? He didn't get his fourth quarter minutes.
Drew will have an answer for us because Drew played him everywhere in the chat.
So did I.
So he can tell us. But I'm looking at the spreads now, Dave, and you're right. The 8.5-point game is the largest spread of the night. So there's only 7 games, and this one is the largest spread with the Suns. New Orleans game being next in line with a 7-point spread. We'll see. I think that I don't mind either. You've got to spend somewhere, especially if you roll out Ish Smith and those 2 cheap shooting guards. I mean, that's the thing is you've got to spend on Melo, Duncan, Jefferson, Dirk, Noah. You've got to spend on.
How do you guys feel about Dirk against Chicago last night? Because Boozer is their worst defender, but like it's also a pace thing as well.
Dirk's at home, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He does play significantly better at home. Not that that's the end-all, be-all, but I do prefer to play him. If I'm going to play him, I prefer to play him at home. The only problem with Dirk is, he's averaging 5 more fantasy points a game and 3 more points, 1 more rebound at home, and he's shooting 53% opposed to 46 on the road, and 43% from 3. The problem with Dirk, despite a couple big games this year, his upside just isn't what it was. I mean, he's getting older. His upside isn't what it is. Really, what we're looking at is a 45 fantasy point upside at best. There were a couple of times on the big DK tournament like a month ago, he had that monster game which helped me out a ton, like 60 fantasy points. But that's few and far between. I just don't see it happening against a slow-paced Chicago team. Boozer's not a good defender, but they're an overall solid team on defense, and they're playing a lot better. I believe, I think Adam last night said they're 8-2 in their last 10. So, yeah, I'm not huge on them, but for a relatively respectable price, I wouldn't mind roster. Just not going to overpay for Dirk.
7.5 on FanDuel is like, that's
Not
a pretty
bad.
attractive price.
Yeah, not bad. His price has actually stayed relatively low almost everywhere this year. He was like 7-1 on DraftKings. He was 12-something on DraftDay a little while ago, so.
Yeah. I would rather go with probably some other guys over Dirk. You look at, I just pulled up his game logs. He is, his last 5, 31, and then 22, and then 29, 45, and 44. So just kind of, like you said, Dave, at that 45-point upside. Whereas you get Al, Jeff, Duncan, Melo all have a bigger upside than that. So I would rather go, and Noah. I'd rather go at one of the other bigs if I'm spending there. So someone asked though about your boy Monte.
Against the Bulls and Jimmy Butler, nah.
Really?
No, there's no reason. None. Rather take Gerald Green for 2K less.
Over who?
Over Monte.
Oh, I hate Monte too.
He cleaned up last game though.
Every time I don't play.
I played Monte in their last game in tournaments.
44, 31, and 38, and he was on it. So, I think tonight is the night of cheap shooting guards with McLemore with the more McLemore and Bazemore at the shooting guard. Going back to that game in San Antonio, is Manu a thing for either of you? His price is still pretty low.
I like Leonard better, actually. He's super cheap on DraftKings and DraftDay. He's 5,200 on DraftKings. It's very hard to overlook that. And he's one of those all-around producers. So I like him better than Ginobili tonight. I think that he should see 30 minutes and 30 fantasy points is not a reach because he can give you those 15.6 boards, a couple blocks, steals, a few assists. I like a player like that.
Both had really good games against Detroit. Manu had 38. Leonard had 35.5. And I'm guessing that Manu is going to be the cheaper one tonight at that at that shooting guard position. But at small forward, Leonard's certainly an interesting option. What are you guys thinking about small forward tonight? Where do you see that position played out? Like, Davis, you said you'd rather have Melo over Durant, and on sites where Melo is small forward eligible, you might want to do that so that you can go cheap on your power forwards and your center. But let's say you're locked into a site like FanDuel, where are you going with the small forward position tonight?
Well, one of them is locked up with Rudy Gay on every site where they price you into small forward. And then after that, it's probably in between Aminu, Kawhi Leonard, and J.R. Smith, depending on what I decide to do with the rest of my roster. And on FanDuel, if I decide to do the Steph Curry thing, I'm gonna play Basket.
Oh, J.R. Smith is not a thing tonight, Davis.
Why?
Why would he be?
Yeah, why
Because
would he?
He
Just
likes
because
to shoot.
Oh my
It's
God.
in a fast.
Man.
They're playing up in pace, and it's on a performance site.
That dude looks like he's putting a beach ball through a drain spout, man. He cannot hit anything. It's just awful right now. I just don't see. That was a terrible analogy. I apologize.
No, I thought it was a great analogy. Don't apologize for that.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Thanks, Dave.
Exaggerated analogies are always welcome on this show.
I'll throw that one in the hopper for later.
All right, but listen to this. Before the Miami game, which no sane person would have played him against Miami.
He's played well against Miami.
Not
though.
including
Oh,
points.
he's well against Miami over the past couple of years.
I would never play a Nick against that. But anyway,
Still,
let me make my point, Laffy.
my point is he's played well against them, and still no one's going to play him.
My point is this. Rebounds and assists versus Dallas, 4 boards, 7 assists. Versus Atlanta, 5 boards, 3 assists. Versus Orlando, 5 boards, 4 assists. Versus New Orleans, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He's contributing in other categories. Like, when he's in the starting lineup, for whatever reason, he works as a secondary ball handler, and because Raymond Felton is so bad right now, his usage rate is higher. So J.R. Smith is a thing tonight.
Yeah. Good luck with that with Iguodala on him.
He's got hemorrhoids, dude.
He's just.
No, I'm not tripping about Iguodala. And Iguodala will be on Melo anyway.
Oh, man. Davis, someone said it was the hat. Someone said it was the coffee. It's funny because they kind of balance each other out. But I think that you have... I like that you're hanging that hat on the J.R. Smith bandwagon tonight.
It's not a bandwagon. It's just like, why wouldn't he be in play for 5.2?
Because he's J.R. Smith.
That's ridiculous. What are you gonna? Okay, and then when Amino plays 14 minutes, don't come crying to me.
It's not a great matchup, and it's not. He has been struggling. Like, I just don't know why you would be so on a back-to-back. I just don't know why you would be so pro J.R. Smith.
I said that he was in play. I said that he was in.
Love him. You said he was a top 5 play.
That did not happen.
Yes, Davis, look at me. Is it because he has a lot of tattoos?
I mean, no. Everyone knows I got man love for JR. I mean, he's no Swaggy P, but I love him.
All right. On sites, or Dave, I'll go ahead and let you say what you're going to say about like a site like FanDuel where you're locked into that small 4 position. I agree with Davis. Other than Gay, who are you looking at?
Carmelo Anthony's power forward on FanDuel now, correct?
He is.
Well, I can't advise playing Kevin Durant at his price right now against Memphis. I know he can kill anybody. I know that, and I know every time you doubt him, he ends up having a monster game. But it's just tough, and it is a tough matchup, despite what people want to say. I hear people, oh, he'll kill him, he'll do this, he'll do it. It's still a difficult matchup, and he has not been that effective versus Memphis this year. I understand he's had some monster games against him in the past, and he's always liable to go off. However, when you have Rudy Gay there, significantly cheaper, with a far better matchup, granted he's a lot more volatile and risky, I still would rather take my chances with Rudy Gay. Aside from Durant and Gay, there really isn't much. Kawhi Leonard is small forward. He's eligible as small forward. Actually, he's at small forward on FanDuel. He's a solid play. I guess if you're really desperate, you could look at Dang against Utah, but there's really not much, man. There's really not much. So it's going to be tough. Now, on sites that have multi-position eligibility, you'll have zero trouble because Bazemore is eligible there. There's a lot of different players eligible there that are in play tonight. But on sites like FanDuel, you could be struggling to find someone. You might end up with J.R. Smith.
Gross. So gross. Ugh.
Seriously though, Luke Babbitt is a thing tonight though.
No.
I mean, he played more minutes than Aminu last night, and he's the absolute man.
They didn't play last night.
Or the night that Anthony Davis got hurt. Sorry, I never play on Thursdays, so I always just think of it as last night.
I believe he played one less minute then. Oh wait, then Aminu?
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like they're using Luke.
Oh, he's right. He's right. He actually played 8 more minutes than Aminu, but he still only put up. I don't know, man. I can't trust Babbitt the Rabbit on this one, man.
Do you think he can get to 18 though? That's all he has to do is get to 18.
I don't know, man. No peripherals concerns me.
If he knocks down 2 threes and gets 4 rebounds, he like you're good. You're happy with that.
I think that's why I like Ajinka better, and he's a little more expensive. But I think I like him better because I really prefer rebounds and blocks opposed to like when I'm talking about a value play. I much prefer the rebounds and blocks over 3-pointer field goals because, in my opinion, they're a lot more predictable.
Yeah. I mean, Aminu.
He just hasn't been getting the minutes.
I know, and I wish I would have watched that game on Wednesday. I need to find out what's up with that because, I'll be honest and tell you that I didn't know that Babbitt played more minutes than Aminu on Wednesday.
Yeah, and I didn't know that until I started digging to try and find a way to get Curry and Melo in the same lineup on FanDuel.
So without Aminu, I thought they would have gone with Morrow instead of Babbitt, but
Morrow got traded, didn't he? He's not even on the roster anymore.
Well, that's probably why they're not going with him.
Dave, let me just shoot something at you real quick before you move on. In Ajinka's last 4 games that he's played 22 or more minutes, right? He has 16 points, 9 points, 19 points, and 14 points. And then he has 9 assists, 9 rebounds, 12 rebounds, and 8 rebounds. He has 3 assists in 2 of those games, and he has 1 block in every game. And 29 or more fantasy points in 3 or 4. So Davis is dead on that his minutes are risky, regardless of who is out, regardless of who is in. But we do know that if he's given the minutes, if he gets 25 minutes, he will hit value. There isn't anything that would indicate that he would not hit value on rebounds and a couple points alone if he gets those minutes.
By the way, Anthony Morrow is still on the roster. He was rumored to be moved to the Bobcats, but it didn't end up happening.
Yeah,
they were like, we don't want this guy.
Yeah, played 19 minutes last game. Babbitt, 26 minutes. By the way, Morrow only had 1.75 fantasy points in 19 minutes.
Morrow is a shooter. That's literally all he does.
Shooter was 6 out of 7 last weekend, but as far as tonight, that's why sometimes FanDuel is so gross, and that's why sometimes you really have to take a look before you start entering a lot of games. Because then you're like, oh, well, I'm kind of screwed there at the small forward position. I don't like anything. And you just have to hope
Babbitt, man, I'm telling you, Luke Babbitt.
Okay, we'll see. I do like on other sites, though, where you can go Derek. I like your Derek Williams call, and I like him on sites where he's small forward eligible. Yeah. We like small forwards that are power forward eligible, or we like power forwards that are small forward eligible. Tonight, that is the case with both Melo and Derek Williams. You saw how it worked out Wednesday if you played Damari Carroll, went off playing that 4 spot. So, yeah, I would rather roster either Williams and Gay or even Williams and Melo or Gay and Melo. It just depends on how your roster is going. But on draft day, like Derek Williams is a very nice price at that small forward spot.
I think this will be one of the nights where we don't see a lot of we'll see enough, but I think it'll be one of those nights where balanced lineups are kind of the in play more so than the stud scrubs, because I could see Melo and Durant not being in more than maybe 20% of lineups. Probably less for Melo. I could be wrong, but I feel like they won't be as highly owned as usual.
Oh, man. Drew said, "Don't worry about not knowing about Babbitt. I had more things or more important things to take care of, like the bunny suit." Yes. Yes. You notice this glow on my face today? Yes.
Oh, sassy Dave.
As far as Auto Crush's question, as far as the best games to play, that would be like a great question on a 4-game slate, like a Tuesday or a Monday. I'll just say, like, cash games, what we talk about cash games are the 50-50s, or how some people call double-ups, but now, like, 50-50 and double-ups are two different things, which is kind of confusing. But 50-50s and head-to-heads are the games that are the cash games, the games that you want to play. And then GPPs, the guaranteed prize pools, are like the big tournaments that you have to get in the top 25% or top 20%, sometimes top 10%. So that's in a nutshell. This is me in a nutshell. I don't have that sound clip. Wish I did, though.
Are you mad?
Yes, I am. But that's a nutshell as far as the games you want to play. If you have any questions for us, feel free to ask us.
We didn't talk about the Suns bigs, did we? About Markieff?
No, Markieff is definitely in play tonight.
Yeah.
So
he's like the mid-range power forward option that can like sort of fill your lineup out on FanDuel.
Yeah. So I know it's the coffee speaking, but if you'll let me kind of get my spiel out as far as if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat, and we will get to them. We'll also get to the DraftDay rapid fire, and hope that we can win you some money there. Davis, I was looking at these Phoenix bigs, and Markieff Morris is at a decent price. Your thoughts on this Phoenix situation?
Markieff is like it's a lot less roulette-y now. It's mostly Fry and Markieff getting like those are their bigs, and then Marcus Morris and Plumlee are playing more reserve roles.
Dave?
I still don't trust him. I don't dislike him. The upside is considerable. He really has been playing well, but I can't trust him. He's gone on runs like this before this season where he plays 30 or more minutes and 3 or 4 straight, and then he just comes out with a dud. Like here, 30 minutes, 24 fantasy points, 23 minutes, 25 fantasy points, then 17 minutes and 6 fantasy points. Then he goes back up for 4 straight games, 5 straight 6 straight games, and then puts up 15 points. So actually, he has been consistent. I can't really nitpick at that, but that front court in Phoenix just concerns me a little bit. But if he's at the right price, I'd pay for him. I just wouldn't overpay for him because he still is risky regardless of recent play.
Yeah, and again, it goes down to, I mean, for me, he would definitely be more of a cash game or of a GPP rather than a cash game. Like, I'd rather go cheaper at that shooting guard position and spend a little bit more than Markieff and know what I'm getting pretty much. Markieff.
But then what are you going to do? You're going to take Carlos Boozer? Because it's really a jump from David Lee to Markieff Morris, and then no one else in between there is playable.
Yeah, if you saw my tweet earlier, I said, hell hath no fury, like David Lee's scorn. He is revenge factor there.
Is David Lee in play tonight?
If he's I think he's healthier than what he was. He only played like 24 minutes on Wednesday. Was disappointing the amount that he got to play, but he was still like we weren't even sure he was going to play on Wednesday. So I think if he gets a normal allotment of minutes tonight, he's certainly in play. But I would rather have Dirk pay a little more for Dirk than roll out Markieff. I mean, I think all those bigs are a lot safer options than Markieff. But Markieff does have some high upside, and you talk about the trends and what he's done lately, his game logs. Like, I'm not doubting you. That last game against Utah, though, 13.25 points in only 23 minutes. Like, that makes me sad. That makes me really sad. So Markeith is just he carries too much risk for me to roll him out confidently in cash game
Right.
lineups. So that's how I feel. Let's see.
The San Francisco Chronicle reported that Mark Jackson said that David Lee will be back in the starting lineup, but he came off the bench in the game versus Chicago.
That's right, he did. I remember that now. He did.
That whole starting lineup was putrid in that game. They're going to come out tonight and they're going to kill New York in their own house.
I like it. Is David Lee gonna be on Melo tonight?
I believe him and Iggy will both guard him. Everyone in the chat, MG was telling me that he doesn't think Iggy will get minutes on Melo, but I disagree with that assessment. I think that Iggy will definitely guard Melo.
If they roll out Amare, I think it would be more likely that Iggy would.
The East is big, man. Woodson is a fucking dumbass.
Easy there, killer.
No, Woodson is one of the worst coaches in like all of professional sports.
Oh, Davis, you gotta warn me when you're going to say stuff like that, so I can just mute you. The show. We only had 3 minutes left. Only had 3 minutes left, and it wasn't even the F-bomb you dropped. It was the violence behind the word. Like, I could feel, like, how...
Oh, sorry, everybody. I swore. Everyone's all surprised. Dude, sometimes you just gotta do it, man. Life ain't easy, dude.
Oh, man. Listen here, kid. One day, you're going to see that you don't have to. Boom.
Oh, my God.
Why
do I have 20 dads on the internet?
Because you need them. And I mean, it's like one of those things where when I punish you, it's like it hurts me more than it hurts you. Please, let's get on to some draft day rapid fire. Nab Mel said, "Life ain't no joke."
Life ain't no joke. I don't know why I said that.
Oh, if you haven't been already, check out our wonderful friends there at DraftDay. They've got the big competition coming up, and I mean it's coming up here soon in March, and they have qualifiers, and some of the qualifiers even overlaying. So, if you want to get in on some of this tournament action that's coming up in March, DraftDay is one of the best places that you could get your shot to qualify. Al Jefferson versus Joakim Noah tonight.
Noah.
Noah.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna take.
What did Joakim Noah do to you?
He didn't do anything.
Did you like lose a big qualifier sometime or something? Because because you have a Dink-esque hatred, like how he hates Melo, you hate Noah that way.
No, I had a gut feeling on Wednesday, and the first half was looking like that gut feeling was going to be sexy. Like I was like ready to tweet you, like.
Yeah, I know you were.
Nah, boo, boo. Like, that's what I was getting ready to tweet you, but then he went off in the second half.
Yeah, you know why? Because he plays 1,000,000 minutes, and he never quits.
Yeah. I don't mind Joakim Noah tonight. It was more the fact that Al Jefferson coming off some rest, going up...
like it's Tim Duncan.
Yeah, I know, but you also got Chicago that plays at a gross pace, and they're, like, fully healthy. So... like, that's kind of where the hesitation came. But I am on Noah with you. We're both right on top of Noah. So, Isaiah Thomas or Kyrie Irving?
Isaiah Thomas.
Thomas. He's safer.
Yeah.
Thomas is definitely safer. But this kind of makes me think that Scott is high on Kyrie Irving tonight because...
I think you overthink this too much, Dave. I mean, I think he's a good. I think Irving's a great play at home, but if we're doing this pick 5, do we really like? We're doing a pick 5. Who's more likely to reach 40 fantasy points without busting tonight?
Isaiah Thomas.
I would say so too.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying from like you say I overthink this. Listen, Dave, life ain't no joke. You can't overthink this. So yeah, I'm on Isaiah Thomas. I'm just wondering why it's so easy. Usually when that happens, there's some sort of trap set that we don't know about. This one's good. Carmelo versus Rudy. I still think it's Carmelo all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Melo in this just because
Yeah.
he's been consistent lately. He's been really hot lately. Even though I like Gay better, but if they were at the same price in a salary cap, I'm going with Melo all day.
Yeah, no doubt.
Derek Williams versus Markieff.
That's hard.
Yeah,
I'm
this
gonna let
one's
Lowy
kind of a
answer that
gross
first.
one.
Laffy.
Who are Markeith?
Derek Williams.
No problem going with Markeith there. If we're doing a pick 5, yeah, I know. I guess I'm backpedaling a bit, but still, he's he's not safe. But Derek Williams is really not safe.
Yeah, agree. Even though I like Derek Williams, even on like cash, I like Derek Williams even on cash games, but Markieff definitely has the higher upside. Eric Gordon versus Bazemore.
Oh, Bazemore, Bay City, Bazy Gaby.
I don't like that one. That if Davis is out, I'm going with Gordon there.
Ooh.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh.
If Davis is out,
I don't know about definitely, but
Davis is right here, B.
Scott,
what are you from Half Baked?
Scott definitely has to throw in like one gross matchup. Like this one's like Gordon versus
two and a half of these are gross.
Yeah, but like Gordon and Bazemore, I mean, that's even worse than Derek Williams and Markieff Morris. I don't even know who I would choose. Like this one is kind of a toss-up. I guess I would go with. I agree with Davis being out. I guess I would have to go with Eric Gordon, but make no mistake, I don't feel good about it. I do not feel good about that play. So,
me neither. I would never play him in like salary cap. No way. I would not touch Eric Gordon.
Eric Gordon really sucks. And I randomly played him one night on Draft Street in a cash lineup just because he fit, and he put up 38 Draft Street points. And I still hate him.
As far as the Kyrie Irving play, Scott said he believes that he did call Irving a stellar play tonight in his...
Scott has the best vocabulary.
It's a lot better than your potty mouth, mister. But you have Scott's article that you can reach on DraftDay. Click on the strategy tab, and then it's the day before tomorrow article, and it is like it's a must read for me every day. As well as as far as free content goes, the Insiders, the Daily Fantasy Pulse by both of you, and then Scott's article. I mean, that's all I need. That's all I need.
Yeah, I go over.
Let's be real. You don't read anything that we write.
What's that?
You look at projections and then make your lineups, and then maybe you'll fade someone because we like them.
Not true at all, because I like to look at I like to look at your column because it makes me giggle. So that's why I mean it's good entertainment for me.
I'm all out of coffee, guys.
Oh boy, we better do something quick. Anyone think Reggie Evans might do some good things tonight?
No.
Wait, Golden State is only favored by 6 tonight. If you have money on Bovada, bet that heavy.
Kyrie, this is a good one. Kyrie and Kawhi versus Kemba and Dang. I just like Kyrie and Kawhi.
Yeah, way better. Kemba and Dang are not even on my board.
Oh, I was saying the pronunciation, not just the matchup. But yeah, I do like the matchup better as well.
Me too.
Let's see. As far as some value plays there on our sponsor tonight, I think you got to look at Bazemore and McLemore as the two guys who talked about in that shooting guard position. Bazemore you can actually play in that small forward. And then you have Derek Williams you can play at the small forward position.
You can play Ish Smith, Isaiah Thomas, and Steph Curry all on draft day tonight, which is super sick.
Yeah,
if Dragic doesn't play.
I think I'm gambling on Dragic being out in tournaments.
I like it, man. I like it.
Well, hold on. You know what? That's really not a terrible idea, and here's why, my friends. Ish Smith. You ready, Dave?
I am.
Ish Smith, before Dragic went out, played 31 minutes, then 21, then 29 with 37 fantasy points and then 28. He had a bad game with 8 fantasy points in between. But if there was a guy that isn't going to absolutely destroy you in the case that Dragic does play, it's Ish Smith. So
and Barbosa's probably not going to play, so their guard rotation is
right.
Even say Dragic is active, it would be Dragic, Smith, Goodwin, Gerald Green, and those would be their only guards. And then Green would slide over to the 3 when Tucker sits.
Right, and Smith played big minutes even in that blowout. That game was out of reach. Who did they play last game? Was it Utah?
Yes.
That game was out of reach pretty early, and he kept playing. So he played 36 minutes in that game, and he took 15 shots. I'll take it.
He's their only ball hand. Him and Dragic are the only capable ball handlers on the roster because Goodwin and Green can't do it.
Look at his numbers, though. When you get a guy that can give you 13 points and 8 rebounds and 5 assists and 2 steals, there's no better value point guard out there when you're getting numbers across the board like that. It's so much more favorable than him just hoisting up 3-pointers.
Agree. So, trying to look. I think that's pretty much it. Man, this has been a fun show with the triple D factor.
Pow!
We had wow. We had some sassy talk. We had some good stat talk.
Sassy talk.
We had some funny talk. I mean, it was the show that people have been craving all day today. So, very nice. Hit us up on Twitter at Davis Maddock, at Laffy_D, and at Soccer Dave. And we'll see you on Monday. Also, keep a lookout tonight. We'll have some weekend articles, and we'll have a few sexy promotions. Teaser. Wow. Talk to you later.
Later, fellas.
Bye.